After Kent Tonight, we'll have another new episode of Kent Film Club. So to join me is Chris Deasy, telling us all the latest film news, as well as bringing it back to puzzles. We'll be talking about board game films. But before all of that, Chris, we're going to be talking about the Oscars. So Sinners has a record for the highest number of Oscar nominations ever, with 16 different categories. So did you see Sinners? I'm expecting the answer to be yes. And what were your opinions?
I did. Now, this did phenomenally well. It came out earlier in the year, around May. And it's a bit, if anyone has seen From Dusk Till Dawn, which I love, the Tarantino film from the 90s, because I'm almost giving away the plot. So if you haven't seen it already, you'll know exactly what might be coming. However, this is a hybrid film. It turns from one genre into another. And it did so well. And also, for a film to come out that early in the year, and to be standing tall with all those films that are released around Christmas time, which is when most of the Oscar-nominated films reach the cinemas, and of course they're fresh in our memory, then it's done phenomenally well. But 16, that's even more than Titanic, that's more than Ben-Hur, that's more than The Colour Purple. I see.
And is this normal for a film to win this many Oscar noms, or is this sort of like so far ahead in the race that it's not even worth blowing the starting pistol?
Well, in the BAFTAs and also in the Golden Globes, it was one battle after another that was getting the highest number of nominations. One battle is just behind, I think it's on about 13.
All right.
So one battle after another may well be the favourite to win. Paul Thomas Anderson has never won an Oscar. He did films like Magnolia and Boogie Nights and Phantom Thread. So he's been around a while and his films are always very edgy. So I would put my money on him. But Chloe Zhao, who won for Nomadland, is also up for Hamnet. So there could be quite a few dark horses in the race of you never quite know where it might go on the night.
Absolutely. And have you had any particular favourites that have maybe been a little bit snubbed this year? You think they deserved a shout?
Well, I did like Song Sung Blue, the Neil Diamond film, and it has got a nomination, as it has in the BAFTAs, for Kate Hudson in the Best Actress category. I don't think it's going to win, realistically. But this is a year where films, like One Battle After Another, that just feel as though they are, in some ways, a little more edgy, perhaps veering into very black comedy territory, with a good social critique. You know, films that are set 20, 30, 40 years ago, but seem to be a commentary on what's happening politically today. So I think that's why, as with the film with a very strong Russian background last year, which won Best Picture, and lots of others as well, I think that it's quite possible those films which say something about where we are politically today hit the zeitgeist and will therefore do well.
I see. I've never personally watched the actual Oscars ceremony. I believe this one's in March.
It will be middle of March.
Middle of March. So you've got any tips for watching the Oscars? I can't say I've ever watched it. So any sort of bits to watch out for? Any special moments?
I always loved when Billy Crystal was the host, because he would do literal song and dance routines, and he'd point at the different candidates who were up, the different nominees, and kind of ribbed them in a very gentle way. And he would do that often then by singing a song, by changing the words sometimes. So you'd have a song about like Sixth Sense, it would be people, I can see dead people, that kind of thing. So it was just sort of inserting words that just match the stars in the room and the films that are being nominated. And that really made it feel alive. You know, it was never a boring ceremony. He was one of the best masters of ceremonies that the Academy has ever had.
Amazing. We're going to move on now to National Puzzle Day, as we were talking about earlier in the show. So we've got a still here from a board game themed film. Could you guess what it is?
This is Clue.
It is Clue. So have you played the game? Have you seen the film?
No, I know the film now. When it came out in New York in 1985, in different cinemas, there were 3 different endings.
I've heard about this, yes.
Now, of course, these days, you can just have the 3 different endings on a DVD disc. And of course, you simply say, which ending shall I pick? But in those days, in a very analog world in the mid-1980s, you'd have to go to different cinemas on different nights, but you'd never know which one was showing which version. So this is a very clever film. I saw it at the Prince Charles in London about a year ago, and thankfully they did show all 3 versions, all 3 endings.
I see, yes, because I actually watched this one on streaming services, and the film sort of ended. I went, oh, that was good. And then there was another bit. I was like, what do you mean ending 2? And it was a bit like, oh, all right.
Which one do you prefer? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's take a look at our next film, see if you can guess this one. Oh, well, it's a bit of a giveaway.
Well, there are multiple versions of this.
True. There was, of course, the reboot.
The one when the cartoons, if you like, come into the real world, and then the other when they go into the digital virtual world.
Yes, absolutely.
I love this, all versions. But there's a real story underneath it, and it's about trauma and nostalgia, and the idea that it's a metaphor for life, isn't it? You have to finish the game that you've started, even if it takes 20 years, as it does with Robin Williams' character in the 1995 original.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our next film, if we can. Do you know this film? Now, not exactly a board game, but sort of there.
Oh, I do know, with the Munchkin thing that eats Pac-Man.
Pac-Man,
yes.
This is Pac-Man is in the film, but this is Pixels, the Adam Sandler film. Okay. Well, yeah, it's Pixels. So it's based on arcade games. This was about I think Adam Sandler plays a sort of disgraced former arcade champion, and then aliens come that take the form of arcade games like Pac-Man, Galaga, Centipede, that sort of thing. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't. Sadly, I don't think it was up for 16 Oscars that year.
No, I don't think so. This is one of my personal favourites. I want to take a moment, actually. I'm going to sort of throw... I haven't prepared for this very much. I'm going to throw a board game at you, and I want you to tell me what's the plot. Okay? Snakes and Ladders. What do you think the plot is?
Oh, that's great, because it means that sometimes just when you think that you're going up and up and up, you plummet and you have to rise again. There's a good redemption story.
I love that. Okay, this is testing my knowledge of board games. What's Monopoly?
Oh, well, Monopoly is a great capitalist venture. It's like seize what you can, but you could lose everything.
Wolf of Wall Street.
It's the Wolf of Wall Street. It's the biggest gamble that there could be.
Okay, Go Fish?
Good question. Do I know Go Fish?
Go Fish is a card game. Maybe I've gone too niche there. Go Fish. You don't know Go Fish? No? Okay.
No, I didn't know that one.
Okay. Well, I suppose maybe a fishing movie. I don't know.
But I do. Yeah, and there's actually there's a Joe Pesci film, I think, with the same title.
Oh, really?
But there are a few. There's a film around Scrabble. It's got Bill Nighy, Somewhere,
Really?
Always, Never. It's about a man who can't connect with his son except through Scrabble. So in other words, they're a very intelligent family, and he goes missing. And they use Scrabble as a means of connecting and being brought back into the fold, like the prodigal son. And there's also a film with Kelly MacDonald, who was in Trainspotting, and it's actually called Puzzle. And it's about a mother, and she's almost like a bit bored with her life, and her family are sort of a bit like Shirley Valentine, I suppose. And she gets caught up in a world of puzzles, literally goes to conventions, and her family at first say, come on, Mum, you should be cooking the dinner. And they suddenly realise that this means everything, and they change their life around her.
Wow. So there are there's more board game films than I realised. I'll have to watch it. Really, about Scrabble. That's great. I wouldn't have expected it. Yeah. Scrabble film.
Who would have thought that a film about words in that sense actually becomes a visual and dramatic entity?
Amazing. Well, like I say, we've got a brand new episode of Kent Film Club coming up. Tell us who's on the show, what we expect, what kind of films are we talking about?
Okay, we've got Lou Fowkes, who's a jazz singer, radio presenter, and she's got classic films. There's a few Spielberg in there. In fact, maybe 2 or even 3 Spielberg-related films. And there's also Gone with the Wind. We've got all the classics in there, including one film that I've already mentioned that was nominated for loads of Oscars in the mid-80s and didn't win a single one, directed by Spielberg.
Right, well, our audience will have to watch to find out, I suppose, to figure out which one that is. So, looking forward to it. And thank you so much, Chris, for rolling with the punches on that one. All right, well, thank you so much.